Captain Kim stood tall on the bridge of the HSS Resolute. He looked out at the stars through the massive viewing window. The Resolute was Earth's newest and biggest warship. It had taken 10 years to build. It was as long as 3 football fields and had walls of metal thicker than any ship before it. "Status report," Kim said, his voice calm but firm. Commander Han, his second in command, walked up with a data pad. "All systems are working well, Captain. Our engines are at full power." Kim nodded. Even at full power, the Resolute moved slowly compared to other ships. This was by design, though few outside the human military understood why. "We will reach the meeting point with the Galactic Alliance in 6 hours," Han added. "Good. This will be their first look at our new ship." "I wonder what they'll think," Kim said with a small smile. Han's face showed worry. "They won't understand it, sir. Their ships are all about speed." "Then we will have to show them another way to think," Kim replied. The bridge crew worked quietly at their stations. Most were young, on their first deep space mission. Earth had only joined the Galactic Alliance 3 years ago. Humans were still new to the galactic community. 6 hours later, the Resolute arrived at the meeting point. 5 alien ships waited there. They were all smaller than the Resolute, with sleek, shiny hulls that seemed to glow against the black of space. They moved fast, circling around each other in what looked like a dance. "They're showing off," Officer Song said from her weapons station. She was young but smart, one of the best weapons officers in the fleet. "Let them," Kim said. "Open a channel to the Alliance command ship." The main screen lit up, showing an alien with blue-gray skin and large eyes. This was Admiral June of the Galactic Alliance. "Captain Kim of Earth," June said. His translator made his words sound flat. "We welcome you to the joint training exercise." "Thank you, Admiral," Kim replied, with a small bow of his head. "The HSS Resolute is ready to participate." June's large eyes blinked slowly as he looked at something off-screen. "Your ship is quite large, Captain. Our sensors show it moving at, is this correct? Only 1/10 the speed of our smallest vessel?" There it was. The first hint of what would become many comments about the Resolute's slow speed. "That is correct, Admiral," Kim said. "The Resolute was built for power, not speed." "Interesting choice," June said, his tone making it clear he thought it was a poor choice. "The other captains are eager to meet you. We will have a gathering on my ship in 1 hour." After the call ended, Kim turned to Han. "And so it begins." "Yes, sir," Han said. "Should I prepare the usual explanations about our ship design?" "No," Kim decided. "Let them think what they want for now." 1 hour later, Kim and Han stood in the meeting room of June's ship, the Swift Arrow. It was beautiful inside, with curved walls and floating lights. The other Alliance captains were already there. "Captain Kim, meet your fellow commanders," Admiral June said. "Captain Lee of the Orion Confederation." He pointed to a tall, thin alien with 4 arms. "A pleasure," Lee said, not sounding pleased at all. "Captain Park of the Centauri Republic." A short, stocky alien with rough, rock-like skin nodded, and "Captain Choi of the Vega Coalition." This alien looked almost human except for the silver scales covering their skin. "Welcome to the Alliance fleet," Choi said with what seemed like real warmth. "We've heard much about humans." "Thank you all," Kim said. "Earth is honored to join these exercises." Admiral June walked to a large hologram table in the center of the room. "Let us review the training plans." A 3D map appeared, showing their section of space. Small dots represented their ships. "We will practice fleet movements first," June explained. "Speed and coordination are key to Alliance battle tactics. We strike fast, hit hard, and move away before the enemy can respond." The hologram showed the ships moving in complex patterns, weaving around each other and simulated enemy ships. Lee looked at Kim. "Your ship seems unsuited for these tactics, Captain." "The Resolute has different strengths," Kim said simply. Park laughed, a sound like stones grinding together. "What good is strength if you cannot catch your enemy, or escape when needed?" Kim did not answer, just smiled politely. Perhaps the humans know something we don't, Choi suggested, looking curious. Perhaps, June said, not sounding convinced. We will see. The exercises begin tomorrow at first shift. I suggest you all rest. Back on the Resolute, Kim called a meeting with his senior officers. How did it go? Asked Chief Engineer Moon, an older woman with gray hair and hands rough from years of building ships. About as expected, Han answered before Kim could. They think we're fools. They think we don't understand space combat, Kim corrected. They believe speed is everything. Their ships are like glass daggers, Moon said. Beautiful, sharp, and deadly, but hit them hard enough and they shatter. Song, the weapons officer, spoke up. When do we show them what the Resolute can really do? Not yet, Kim said. For now, we follow their lead and learn their tactics. They have been fighting in space for centuries longer than we have. But, sir, Han said, the main cannon will remain our secret until needed. Kim finished firmly. Remember your Earth history, the tortoise and the hare. Moon smiled. Slow and steady wins the race. Exactly, Kim said. The Alliance races. Evolved on worlds with few large predators. They learned to run, to strike quickly and retreat. Humans evolved as pursuit predators. We followed our prey until they could not run anymore. And we built our ship the same way, Song said, understanding in her eyes. Yes, Kim agreed. The Resolute doesn't need to be fast. It needs to be unstoppable. The next morning, the exercises began. The Alliance ships moved in beautiful, complex patterns while the Resolute struggled to keep up. Kim could see the other captains watching, some laughing, some just shaking their heads. Resolute, you are 15 seconds behind formation. Admiral, June's voice came through the comm. Please try to maintain position. Acknowledged, Admiral, Kim replied calmly. We are at maximum safe speed. More laughter came through the channel before someone cut it off. Han stood beside Kim, his face red with anger. They mock what they don't understand. Let them, Kim said. One day they will face an enemy their speed cannot defeat. Then they will understand why we built the Resolute this way. Little did any of them know that day would come sooner than expected. 3 weeks passed. The HSS Resolute and Captain Kim had endured many more jokes and laughs from the Alliance ships. Each day brought new training exercises, and each day the human ship lagged behind the others. Move faster, Resolute. You're making us all slow down, Captain Lee would say over the shared channel. Perhaps you should have brought engines instead of all that armor, Captain Park would add. Kim never responded to these taunts. He just nodded to his crew, and they kept working. The human sailors were getting tired of the mockery, but Kim reminded them to be patient. Our time will come, he told them during a crew meeting. The Alliance doesn't understand our approach because they have never needed it. On the 22nd day of joint exercises, everything changed. Captain Kim was eating lunch in his private quarters when the alarm sounded. The captain's screen lit up, showing Commander Han. Captain, emergency transmission from Alliance Command, Han said, his face serious. All ships are called to the command center. Kim put down his fork. I'll be right there. On the bridge, the main screen showed Admiral June. His usual calm face now looked worried. Attention all ships, June said. We have received a distress call from Sigma Station, our outpost at the edge of Alliance space. They are under attack by an unknown force. The screen changed to show a recording. A space station was surrounded by strange ships. These ships were huge, with dark hulls that seemed to absorb light. They moved slowly, but with purpose. The station was firing all its weapons, but the shots seemed to do nothing against the massive ships. This is Commander Gill of Sigma Station, a panicked voice said. We are under attack by unknown vessels. Our weapons have minimal effect. We need immediate... The message cut off as one of the dark ships fired a beam of energy. The station exploded into pieces. The recording ended and Admiral June's face returned to the screen. This recording was sent 3 days ago, he said. We have lost all contact with Sigma Station and the 3 nearby systems. I am ordering all Alliance ships to the front line. We will meet at Rally Point Delta in the Tau system. The screen went dark. Han looked at Kim. Those ships. I saw. Kim nodded. They're like us. Slow, heavily armored. This is bad, Officer Song said from her station. The Alliance doesn't know how to fight ships like that. All their tactics rely on being faster than the enemy. Set course for Rally Point Delta, Kim ordered. Maximum safe speed. Engineer Moon spoke up from her console. Captain, we could push the engines beyond safe limits. It would get us there faster. Kim shook his head. No, we maintain safe speed. If those enemy ships are what I think they are, the Alliance will need our ship in perfect working order when we arrive. The Resolute was the last ship to reach Rally Point Delta. When they arrived, they found the Alliance fleet already there. But it was smaller than before. Many ships were damaged, with burn marks on their hulls and broken parts. What happened? Han asked as they looked at the fleet through the viewing window. They already engaged the enemy, Kim guessed. And it didn't go well. Admiral June called all captains to his ship for an emergency meeting. When Kim arrived, he could feel the mood had changed. No one was laughing or making jokes now. The enemy calls themselves the Krell, June said once everyone was seated. They come from beyond the galactic rim. We know almost nothing about them except that they are hostile, and their ships are... He hesitated. Nearly impossible to damage. Captain Lee finished. His usual proud voice was now quiet. One of his forearms was in a sling. We engaged them yesterday, Captain Park explained. His rocky skin was cracked in places. Our tactics didn't work. They're too slow to outrun, but their armor is too strong for our weapons. We lost 17 ships, Captain Choi added. Shidoi Tiu had a bandage over one eye, including 3 of our largest cruisers. Admiral June looked at Kim. There was no mockery in his eyes now, only desperation. Captain Kim, he said, you're late, as usual. But perhaps your ship's design might be better suited for this enemy. Kim nodded. The Krell ships appear to be built on similar principles to the Resolute. Heavy armor, powerful weapons, but slow. Can you fight them? June asked directly. We can, Kim said simply. But we'll need the Alliance fleet to change its tactics. You can't fight these ships the way you're used to fighting. Tell us what to do, June said. The other captains looked surprised, but no one objected. Kim stood and walked to the holo table. May I? June nodded and Kim activated the display. He pulled up the sensor data from the Resolute. The Krell ships have incredibly thick armor, like ours, Kim explained. But no armor is perfect. It has weak points. He zoomed in on one of the enemy ships. Here, where the weapon systems connect to the hull. And here, near their engine outputs. These are spots where the armor must be thinner to allow for systems to function. The Alliance captains leaned forward, studying the display. Your ships are fast and maneuverable, Kim continued. But you've been using that speed to dart in, fire at random points on their hull, and dart away. That won't work against armor like this. What do you suggest? Choi asked. Coordinated attacks, Kim said. Your fast ships need to work together, focusing fire on these weak points, and you need to give your weapons time to have an effect. Don't hit and run. Hit and keep hitting the same spot. And what will the Resolute do? June asked. Kim's face turned serious. We will engage them directly, ship to ship. The room went quiet. That's suicide, Park said finally, even with your armor. The Resolute was built for this kind of battle, Kim replied. We have weapons you haven't seen yet. Han, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. Humans have fought wars for thousands of years. We learned long ago that sometimes the only way to stop a powerful enemy is to become more powerful yourself. Admiral June stood. Very well. We will follow your plan, Captain Kim. The Alliance fleet will target the weak points you identified. As the meeting ended, Captain Lee approached Kim. I thought your ship was a joke, Lee admitted. I was wrong. Kim nodded. Different problems require different solutions. The Alliance built ships for the enemies you knew. We built the Resolute for the enemies no one had met yet. Back on the Resolute, Kim called his senior officers together. It's time, he told them. Prepare the main cannon. We're going to show the Alliance and the Krell what the Resolute can really do. Officer Song smiled for the first time in days. They won't be laughing at us after this. No, Kim agreed. But first we have to survive. He looked out at the stars, knowing that somewhere out there the Krell were coming. Prepare the ship for battle. We move out in 6 hours. The Alliance fleet moved through space toward the area where the Krell were last seen. The sleek, fast ships formed a protective ring around the HSS Resolute. No one was making jokes about the human ship now. Captain Kim stood on the bridge, watching the stars. The ship hummed with activity as the crew prepared for battle. Status report, Kim said. Commander Han looked up from his console. All systems are ready, Captain. The main cannon is at 95% power. And the crew? Nervous but ready, Han replied. This will be our first real battle. Kim nodded. Earth had been at peace for many years before joining the Galactic Alliance. Most of his crew had never seen actual combat. They'll do fine, Kim said. We've trained for this. Officer Song spoke up from the weapons station. Captain, Admiral June is calling. The main screen lit up, showing the Admiral's face. He looked tired. Captain Kim, June said, our scouts have found the Krell fleet. They've taken over the Gamma system and are moving toward the Alliance core worlds. How many ships? Kim asked. 15 large vessels, similar to the ones that destroyed Sigma Station, June answered. And about 30 smaller support ships. Kim turned to Han. Against our 23 remaining Alliance ships plus the Resolute. Not good odds, Han said quietly. June heard this. No, not good odds. But we have no choice. If the Krell reach the core worlds, billions will die. We'll stop them, Kim said firmly. Have your ships followed the tactical adjustments we discussed? Yes, June nodded. All captains have updated their attack patterns to focus on the weak points you identified. But Kim, will it be enough? It has to be, Kim replied simply. The call ended, and Kim turned to his crew. Set course for the Gamma system, maximum safe speed. The journey took 2 days. While the Alliance ships could have arrived much faster, they stayed with the slower Resolute. As they traveled, Kim used the time to prepare his crew and fine-tune their battle plan. In the ship's large meeting room, Kim gathered all department heads. The Krell ships are similar to ours in design philosophy, he explained. Slow, heavily, armored with powerful weapons, but there is one key difference. He showed them detailed scans of the Krell vessels. Their ships use standard energy weapons, just very big ones, Kim continued. They rely on brute force, but the Resolute was built around a completely different weapon technology. Engineer Moon stepped forward. The gravitational cannon, she said. It's never been used in actual combat before. What exactly does it do? Asked a young officer from the medical department. It doesn't damage the enemy ship directly, Moon explained. Instead, it creates a localized distortion in space-time around the target. This puts enormous pressure on the ship's hull from all directions at once, like being crushed in a giant's fist, Han added. No armor, no matter how thick, can withstand that kind of pressure, Kim said. But there are limitations. The cannon takes 30 seconds to charge between firings. During that time, we are vulnerable. That's why we need the Alliance ships, Song realized, to protect us during our recharge cycle. Exactly, Kim nodded. This will be a true joint operation. We can't win without them, and they can't win without us. On the second day of their journey, Kim received an unexpected visitor in his quarters. It was Captain Choi of the Vega Coalition. Captain Kim, she said with a small bow. Thank you for seeing me. Of course, Kim replied. What can I do for you? Choi seemed uncomfortable. I wanted to apologize for the jokes, the mockery. We were wrong about your ship. Kim shook his head. No apology needed. The Resolute is unusual by Alliance standards. That's just it, Choi said. We in the Alliance have become too set in our ways. We all build the same kind of ships, use the same tactics. We stopped innovating. She looked directly at Kim. Do you think we can win this battle? Kim thought carefully before answering. I believe we have a chance. But win or lose, this battle will change how the Alliance thinks about space warfare. Choi nodded. I hope we live to see it. Finally, they reached the edge of the Gamma system. The fleet stopped just outside sensor range of the Krell. Admiral June called all ship captains for one final meeting on his vessel. Our scouts report that the Krell are still in orbit around Gamma 4, June said. They appear to be mining resources from the planet. That gives us an advantage, Captain Lee pointed out. They'll be somewhat stationary. Agreed, Kim said. Here's the plan. The Alliance ships will form 3 attack groups. He highlighted different sections of the fleet on the holo display. Group 1, led by Captain Lee, will target the smaller Krell support ships. Group 2, under Captain Park, will focus on drawing fire from the main Krell vessels. Group 3, with Captain Choi, will attack the weak points we identified, but only on the 3 lead Krell ships. And the Resolute? Admiral June asked. We will position ourselves here. Kim pointed to a spot, behind a small moon, out of direct sight of the Krell. When their lead ships are engaged with Group 3, we will move into firing position for the main cannon. You're using our ships as bait, Park said, his rocky face hard to read. I'm using our ships according to their strengths, Kim corrected. Your vessels can't destroy the Krell capital ships, but they can distract them, damage them, and position them for our attack. After a moment, Park nodded. A sound strategy. If the first strike is successful, Kim continued, the Resolute will target the next largest Krell vessel, while your ships regroup and adjust based on the Krell response. The captains discussed a few more details, then June stood up. This is the biggest threat the Alliance has faced in generations, he said solemnly. But we've never had a ship like the Resolute fighting alongside us before either. I believe we can win this. He looked at each captain in turn. Return to your ships. We attack in 3 hours. As they filed out, Captain Lee stopped Kim. Your plan is good, he said. But I'm curious. Why did humans build a ship like the Resolute in the first place? You joined the Alliance in peacetime. Kim gave a small smile. On Earth, we have a saying, hope for peace, prepare for war. The Resolute was built because, someday we knew, the Alliance would face an enemy that couldn't be outrun. Back on his ship, Kim addressed the entire crew over the intercom. In 2 hours, we will engage the Krell in battle, he said. Some of you may be afraid, that's normal. But remember your training. Remember why we built this ship. The Resolute isn't fast, but it is powerful. Today we show the galaxy that strength. The crew cheered, the sound echoing through the massive ship. Han stood beside Kim on the bridge. They're ready, sir. Good, Kim nodded. Because it's time to show everyone what the slow human warship can really do. Captain Kim's voice was calm as it echoed through the HSS Resolute. The massive human warship moved slowly into position behind the small moon of Gamma 4. From here, they could not be seen by the Krell fleet. Main cannon status? Kim asked. Officer. Song's fingers moved quickly over her console. Main cannon is fully charged and ready, Captain. Shields? At maximum strength, Han reported. Kim nodded. Now we wait for Admiral June's signal. The bridge was quiet. Everyone felt the weight of what was coming. On the main screen, they could see the Alliance ships moving into their attack formations. The sleek vessels looked tiny compared to the huge Krell ships orbiting the planet below. Alliance Group 1 is in position, Han announced. Group 2 and 3 are approaching their targets. The Krell ships are turning to face them, Song added. They've detected our fleet. Kim watched as the Alliance ships began their attack. Group 1, led by Captain Lee, raced toward the smaller Krell support ships. Their weapons flashed, hitting the enemy vessels with precise shots. Group 1 has engaged the support ships, Han said. Group 2 is drawing fire from the main Krell vessels. On the screen, Kim could see Captain Park's ships darting around the massive Krell warships. They fired quick shots, then moved away before the Krell could hit them. Group 3 is moving into position to attack the lead Krell ships, Song reported. Captain Choi's ships were taking a different approach. Instead of quick attacks, they focused their fire on specific points on the three largest Krell vessels. The plan is working, Han said with a hint of excitement. The Krell are responding exactly as we predicted. Kim nodded, but remained focused. Prepare to move out from behind the moon. Weapons, lock the main cannon on the lead Krell ship. The Resolute began to move, slowly emerging from its hiding place. So far, the Krell seemed too busy with the Alliance ships to notice. We are now in firing range, Song reported. Main cannon locked on target. Admiral June is signaling, Han said. Group 3 has weakened the shields on the lead Krell ship. This is it, Kim said. All Alliance ships, clear the target area. On the screen, they could see Choi's ships quickly moving away from the lead Krell vessel. Target area clear, Han confirmed. Kim took a deep breath. Fire the main cannon. There was no bright flash, no beam of energy shooting across space. The gravitational cannon worked differently. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, space around the lead Krell ship appeared to bend, as if someone was folding the very fabric of reality. The massive enemy vessel began to crumple like a piece of paper being crushed in a giant fist. Metal twisted and broke. The ship's hull collapsed inward from all sides at once. In 30 seconds, the mighty Krell warship was reduced to a ball of crushed metal no larger than a small transport. The bridge of the Resolute erupted in cheers. Direct hit, Song shouted. Target destroyed. On the shared Alliance channel, they could hear the other captains' shocked reactions. By the stars. What kind of weapon is that? Did you see that? The ship just collapsed. Admiral June's voice cut through the chatter. All ships maintain formation. This battle isn't over yet. He was right. The other Krell vessels were turning toward the Resolute, finally noticing the true threat. The Krell are locking weapons on us, Han warned. Multiple energy signatures. Detected. Brace for impact, Kim ordered. Divert power to forward shields. The Krell fired. Massive beams of energy streaked across space toward the Resolute. The human ship shuddered as the blast hit its shields. Shields holding at 82%, Han reported. But they're all targeting us now. As expected, Kim said. How long until the main cannon is recharged? 20 more seconds, Song answered. Kim opened the channel to the Alliance fleet. Admiral June, we need Group 2 to draw some of that fire away from us. Understood, June replied. Captain Park, engage the Krell vessels from their flank. Captain Lee, what's your status with the support ships? We've disabled 8 of them, Lee reported. Moving to assist the Resolute now, the Alliance ships. Swooped in, firing at the Krell vessels from multiple directions. It worked. Some of the enemy ships turned to deal with this new threat. Main cannon recharged and ready, Song announced. Target the second largest Krell ship, Kim ordered. Again, space seemed to bend around the target. The Krell vessel crumpled under forces it was never designed to withstand. 2 down, Han said with a grim smile. But the Resolute was taking heavy. Fire now. The ship shook violently as multiple Krell weapons hit its shields. Shields down to 53%, Han reported. We can't take this level of fire for long. Captain Choi, Kim called over the Alliance channel. Can your group target the weapon systems on the 3 Krell ships to our port side? On it, Choi replied. Her ships darted in, firing with precision at the weapon mounts on the Krell vessels. Several of the enemy weapons went dark. Pressure's easing, Han said. Shields holding at 49%. Main cannon status? Kim asked. 15 more seconds until recharged, Song replied. The battle continued this way for nearly an hour. The Resolute would fire its gravitational cannon, crushing a Krell ship, then endure heavy fire while the cannon recharged. The Alliance ships worked to protect the human vessel, targeting weapon systems and drawing fire when they could. 5 Krell capital ships were destroyed, then 6. The smaller support ships were either disabled or retreating, but the Resolute was badly damaged. Parts of its thick hull were torn open to space. Several decks had lost power. Shields critical at 12%, Han reported. Main cannon is operational, but our power systems are failing. How many Krell ships remain? Kim asked. 3 capital ships and about a dozen support vessels, Song answered. But they're retreating, Captain. They're breaking orbit and moving away from the planet. The bridge crew watched as the remaining Krell ships turned and accelerated away from Gamma 4. They're running, Han said, disbelief in his voice. The Krell don't retreat. Admiral June's voice came over the comm. No one has ever seen them retreat before. Kim leaned back in his chair, allowing himself a small smile. There's a first time for everything, Admiral. Captain Kim, June said, the Resolute has saved the Alliance today. Your ship and your tactics have accomplished what we thought impossible. It wasn't just us, Kim replied. This was a true joint victory. Each ship played its part. The Alliance fleet regrouped around the damaged but still functioning Resolute. Emergency repair teams worked to seal hull breaches and restore power to damaged systems. In his private quarters, Kim looked at the damage reports. The Resolute would need months in a shipyard to be fully repaired, but it had proven its worth. There was a knock at his door. Commander Han entered, carrying a message pad. Sir, you have messages from all the Alliance captains, Han said. They all say basically the same thing. What's that? Kim asked. Han smiled. They want to know when Earth will be building more ships like the Resolute. 1 month after the battle with the Krell, the HSS Resolute floated in the massive repair dock at Alliance Central Station. Workers in spacesuits moved around the ship, fixing the damage from the battle. Parts of the hull were still being rebuilt. Inside the ship, Captain Kim walked through the corridors, checking on repairs and talking with his crew. The Resolute had lost 12 crew members in the battle. Everyone felt their loss, but they also felt pride in what they had accomplished. Kim entered the bridge where Commander Han was working at his station. How are the repairs coming? Kim asked. Better than expected, Han replied. The main systems will be operational in 2 more weeks. Full repairs will take another month after that. And the main cannon? Fully repaired and improved, Han said, with a small smile. Engineer Moon found a way to reduce the recharge time by 5 seconds. Kim nodded, pleased. Good work. What about the crew replacements? That's the interesting part, Han said. We've received over 300 applications from Alliance species who want to serve on the Resolute. Kim raised his eyebrows in surprise. Alliance members want to serve on a human ship? Not just any human ship, Han corrected. They want to serve on the ship that defeated the Krell. Before Kim could respond, Officer Song called from her station. Captain, Admiral June is requesting your presence at Alliance headquarters for a meeting. When? Kim asked. Now, sir, Song replied. His aide says it's urgent. Alliance headquarters was busy with activity. Ships from all over the galaxy were docked at the station. As Kim walked through the halls, he noticed people looking at him. Some nodded respectfully. Others whispered to each other as he passed. No one was laughing now. The meeting room was large, with a round table in the center. Admiral June was already there, along with Captains Lee, Park, and Choi. But there were also many other officials Kim didn't recognize. Captain Kim, June said, standing to greet him. Thank you for coming. Please have a seat. Kim sat down, feeling uncomfortable with all the attention. Let me introduce everyone, June continued. This is High Commander Bak of Alliance Defense and Supreme Counselor Wu of the Alliance government. Kim nodded to each of them. These were very important people. Captain Kim, High Commander Bak began. Your actions in the battle against the Krell were impressive. You showed great courage and skill. Thank you, sir, Kim replied. But it was a team effort. The Alliance ships played a crucial role. True, Bak nodded. But without the Resolute and its gravitational cannon, we would have lost. Supreme Counselor Wu leaned forward. Captain, we've called you here because the Alliance faces a serious situation. Our scouts report that the Krell are gathering a larger fleet. They will attack again, and soon. Kim felt his stomach tighten. How many ships? At least 40 capital ships, Admiral June said gravely, and over 100 support vessels. The room was quiet as everyone considered what this meant. The Resolute alone cannot stop such a fleet. Kim said finally. No, Wu agreed, which is why we've called this meeting. Captain Kim, we want Earth to share the technology of the gravitational cannon with the Alliance. Kim was not surprised by this request. I don't have the authority to share Earth's military technology. That decision must come from Earth's government. We understand, Bak said. We've already sent a formal request to Earth, but we wanted to speak with you directly as well. There's more, June added. We don't just want the technology. We want your help in creating a new type of Alliance ship, one that combines the best features of our vessels with the power of yours. A hybrid? Kim asked, interested despite himself. Exactly, Captain Choi said. A ship with better speed and maneuverability than the Resolute, but still able to carry a gravitational cannon. Our initial designs show it's possible, Park added. We need human engineers to work with ours, and human captains. To train with ours, Lee finished. We need to learn from each other. Kim thought about this. Just a few months ago, these same people had laughed at the Resolute. Now they wanted to build ships like it and learn from humans. If Earth agrees, Kim said carefully, I would be honored to help. 2 days later, Kim received the news. Earth had agreed to share the gravitational cannon technology with the Alliance. In return, Alliance worlds would share their faster engine designs with Earth. It's a new era, Han said as they watched the repair work on the Resolute from an observation deck. Yes, Kim agreed. But we still have a war to win. A young officer approached them. Captain Kim, Engineer Moon asked me to give you this. He handed Kim a data pad with designs for the new hybrid ships. Kim studied them with interest. What do you think? Han asked, looking over his shoulder. I think they'll work, Kim said. These ships will be faster than the Resolute, but still powerful enough to face the Krell. Will you miss commanding the Resolute when you get one of these new ships? Han asked. Kim smiled. Who says I'm getting a new ship? The Resolute and I still have work to do. 6 months later, Captain Kim stood on the bridge of the repaired and upgraded HSS Resolute. Beside his ship floated 5 new vessels, the first of the Alliance human hybrid warships. They were sleeker than the Resolute, but still had the reinforced hull needed to carry a gravitational cannon. All ships report ready, Captain, Han said from his station. Thank you, Commander, Kim replied. He opened a channel to the other ships. This is Captain Kim. Today we begin our mission to push the Krell back beyond Alliance space. Each of your ships represents the best of both our cultures. Together, we will show the Krell that the Alliance stands united. On the main screen, Kim could see the captains of the other ships. Captain Choi was there, now commanding one of the new hybrid vessels. Captain Park and Captain Lee as well. All of them had trained with Kim over the past months, learning the new tactics needed for these ships. Captain Kim, Admiral Jun's voice came over the comm. The Alliance Council wishes you and your fleet success. Return safely. We'll do our best, Admiral, Kim replied. As the small fleet prepared to depart, Han moved to stand beside Kim. It's strange, Han said quietly. A year ago they were mocking us for building a slow ship. Now they're building ships based on our design. Sometimes you have to prove yourself before others will listen, Kim replied. The important thing is that we're stronger together than we were apart. Do you think we can beat the Krell? Han asked. Kim looked at the fleet of ships surrounding the Resolute, human and alien working together, learning from each other. Yes, he said confidently. I think we can. The fleet moved away from the station, the Resolute leading the way. It was still the slowest ship in the group, but no one was laughing about that anymore, because everyone now understood an important truth. Sometimes the most powerful force isn't the fastest. Sometimes it's the one that endures, that takes the hits and keeps coming, that strikes with overwhelming force when the moment is right. Sometimes the slow human warship was exactly what was needed. The end.